Hi, and welcome to Source Seers. I'm Love.
And I'm Tylynn. We're two Los Angeles-based witches who were brought together by fate with one mission.
To translate wisdom from Source and provide spiritual knowledge for the collective.
We're here to explore psychic stories, pop culture predictions, trauma healing, ancient knowledge, astrology, tarot, and so much more.
Source Seers is here to shine the spotlight on how the mystical realms are interwoven into the very fabric of our everyday lives.
Yeah!
What up?
2025 is the Hermit year in the tarot.
Yes, so we're here doing part 2 of 2025. Everything you need to know, our predictions, how you can understand 2025. This one's going to be more about like divination, more about tarot, more about numerology, less about astrology. So, okay, so Tylynn mentioned that 2025 is the year of the Hermit.
Yes.
So how the fuck do we know that? So if you add up 2025, that equals the number 9. So that's the type of year that we're in numerologically, which is like wrapping up a lot of stuff, right? Because usually in numerology, it's like 0 to 10, right? Is kind of where it goes. Because if you have double digits, you keep adding them to make single digits. Mm-hmm. So this is like that 9 right before the 10 type of energy.
Yes. There's some kind of wish fulfillment that is occurring. Mm-hmm. But yes, wrapping up loose ends, but not quite a full completion, because in the tarot we see the 10 is more of the culmination, completion number.
Yeah, but like sort of seeing like, okay, I can kind of see minus like that one piece.
Yes.
And so how does that equal the Hermit in tarot? So each of the tarot cards and the major arcana have a number. So the number 9 is the Hermit card. And then in the last episode, Tylynn said like the Hermit is associated with Virgo. So each of the major arcana, well, not just major arcana, but each of the tarot cards are associated with different the wheel of astrology. So you can kind of like map both systems on top of each other, which Tylynn does a lot in her work. So yeah, the tarot is the card for Virgo, for the sign of Virgo. So if you are a Virgo sun, that's kind of your card would be the Hermit.
Yes. And with astrology, Virgo corresponds in our physical body with our digestive system. So something I shared in the Hermit Year workshop is the importance of really taking care of our digestive system. A really simple tool is just putting on castor oil and doing clockwise circles on the abdomen as a way to move. And 2 questions to ask yourself this year is, what is fun and easy for me to digest? And that can, be physical, it can be emotional, it can be mental, it can be spiritual. What is fun and easy for you to take in and process and break down? And then also ask yourself, what isn't sitting well with me? What am I having a difficult time breaking down? What am I having a difficult time digesting? Yes. And what can I do to ease that digestion?
Yeah. Other tips, prebiotics, probiotics.
Yes.
Yogurt, kombucha, miso. There's also like pills and things that just have them in there. That's the bacteria in probiotics are really healthy for your digestive system if you do have an issue going on down there. But also I like that where it's like, what is easy for me to digest? Because I'm of the school of belief that like our emotional issues, if we don't tend to them, become physical issues because our body is very intelligent in that way. So if you are having digestive issues, or if you do have strong Virgo placements, like I have my Mars in Virgo, so in my 10th house, so it's like anytime I'm doing like something new in my career, putting myself out there, I get like a little upset tummy from like anxiety and stuff. So like if you have strong Virgo placements, you might have like more tummy issues than
Virgo
normal people.
Moons especially.
Virgo moons, my mom is a Virgo sun, so she has like tummy stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, what am I able to digest my reality? So if you're having tummy issues, think about that. Like, what in my reality is hard for me to digest? Like, what about my world is hard for me to digest? Myself is hard for me to digest. The people around me that I'm spending a lot of time around, especially if you get like tummy issues, like when you hang out with one person or when you think about hanging out with someone.
That's a big deal with the Hermit card because it really reflects the balance of spending time in solitude and introspection, going inward, but also the balance of shining your light outward. That's why the Hermit has the lantern and is shining the light. And so some of the questions that I had through the Hermit workshop year is, who are the people that light you up? And who are the people that are draining your energy?
If you're watching on YouTube, this is my Hermit card. You can see he has like, he's trekking through like the snow and he has like the lantern, but then like his staff is also lit up. So it's like structured, learning, knowledge, things of that.
What's I like supporting you.
Yes. Yeah, I like to talk about like the Hermit as like, so the tarot, for those who may or may not know, is like the story of the hero's journey, right? So like hero's journey is like the traditional, original, like storytelling, like people, well, this is kind of like going on another level, but in storytelling, there's like different like archetypes of stories that like we see with like Shakespeare or ancient Greek stories. So it's like, there's theories that like there's only like 5 main stories. I don't know the exact number, but there's only something like 5 main stories in the world, and then like every movie or book or literature that we have as humans is just like nuances of those like 5 main stories. So the one main story is the hero's journey. That's like a big archetypal story that we see over and over again. So like we see that with like the first like recorded, quote unquote, because a lot of stuff was destroyed, stories with like Greek, with like Odysseus and things like that. Those are all hero's journeys. A person that overcomes intense odds, like in the Bible, there's like David and Goliath or things like that, right? And so like if you're like, what the heck is a hero's journey? Like any fantasy or sci-fi movie, usually it's like Star Wars has this, like Mulan is a hero's journey, like Star Trek, you know, like Dune, any of those kinds of stories are going to be hero stories, hero journeys. Most of like the like Disney movies, and you know, like Moana is a hero's journey, right? So that's a double hero's journey because it's Maui and Moana who are finding their path. But so that's what the Hermit card kind of represents, is the part in the, so I'm jumping ahead. Tarot is a hero's journey. So the major arcana, if you follow them, the first one is the Fool, the hero setting out on his journey, and then you get all the way to the end. It's supposed to be the going through the phases of what one experiences in a hero's journey. And the Hermit card in that story type telling is the card that's like, your wizard person has told you like, you need to find the truth within you. You need to figure out what your strength is or what your path is. And this is the point when the hero is like, can you just tell me, like, I don't know, like, what am I good at, or what am I here to do, or I'm struggling to believe in myself, or that I should take this risk. And the wizard person would be like, only you know the answers. Only you can find that. You must look deep within yourself to answer those questions. And that's the journey part that the Hermit is in. It's like, I need to go on that. Usually it's like a cool montage part of the story where the hero is by themselves, like in the desert, or wandering through something where they have to figure it out by themselves or with limited people around. And then they come out of that journey, or like sometimes it's like a psychedelic journey in the movie or something like that. They come out of the journey and they're like, oh, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, where I'm going. So that's like the theme of this year.
Yes.
Is like, we're all looking inward and we're all reassessing, hopefully figuring things out, having deep aha moments and shedding of truth and clarifying of truth, whatever that looks and feels like for you in your life. And then using that light to continue to guide you forward to get out of that like solo peace moment.
Yes, it really is connecting to your internal wisdom, to your internal sage, wise woman, wise man, wise person.
Yeah.
Because we all have that being, that archetypal energy within. And I know a lot of people talk about inner child healing, going to your inner child, which we're going to have a whole episode dedicated to that. But it's also just as important to heal with your inner sage, your inner old person.
Yeah. When I do meditations, I always have people like tap into their future self, right?
Yes.
Like everyone does inner child healing, but it's like, what does 80-year-old you have to tell you?
Yes, because when you tap into that frequency, it only assists you more in being anchored and rooted in the present moment for what are the steps that you need to take right now to get you to that point where your future self has already walked that path. And we can see that in the Hermit card, because that light for the lantern, it only goes so far ahead. It's not going to go way far ahead. You're only going to be able to see a few steps ahead of you.
Yes.
But that really indicates the importance of the journey, being present in the moment. And something else that I love about Virgo is that it relates to rituals, routines, habits. And so this is a year for the collective of understanding what are the rituals, routines, habits that support the journey of my soul.
I like that. And definitely like Virgo also rules over like medicine, math, animals, healing modalities and things like that. So those are all going to be great resources as you're going through your hermit, right? Like, like you're saying, the routines and things. So it's like, what medicines am I returning to? Am I learning like from the world? Not necessarily like pharmaceutical medicine, but like herbs, plants, crystals, trees, pets. Like what healing can I glean while I'm moving through these darker pieces? How can I make sense of it? How can I structure it? How can I order it, right? Like Virgo loves to organize and figure things out and solve problems and help people heal. So probably a lot of us will feel like I need to get my shit together. I need to heal certain things this year. I need to answer these questions that I've been avoiding or not sure of. I really need to like be solid about what's in here with myself.
Yes. And practical, right? Reasonable. Virgo is an energy that takes it step by step. And something I love about Virgo is I see it like a multi-cut crystal, because it's a mutable earth sign. So it has earth frequency, and the crystal comes from the earth. And so you can pick that crystal up from the earth and see it from all these possible angles, perceptions. And the higher octave of Virgo is cultivating mastery over certain skill sets, but it is also cultivating discernment, and discernment that is true to you. And so the only way that we can cultivate discernment in a way that truly aligns with our soul is if we make the practice of going inward and actually checking in with ourselves and not going seeking outward, external validation. So
before I look outside of myself, especially in this year, what am I feeling in here? What is it saying in here? What is let me check in first with myself, my own internal guidance, my own thoughts, feelings, emotions, etc., before I look towards someone else, because that's really what this year is like asking of us.
Yes. So the 3 core attributes that I have for 2025, spirituality, authenticity, and sovereignty. Because Virgo is a sign that is deeply spiritual, and we see that with the Hermit card, this wise man. And Virgo is a sign that says, okay, what are the habits, rituals, the daily things that you do to connect to spirit in a way that is practical, in a way that is grounded? And we see that in the lantern. If you look closely, especially in the Rider-Waite deck, it is a 6-pointed star, which is the seal of Solomon. And that is a symbol that is said
I'm Jewish.
to...
That's only why I'm doing that. It's like, that's the Jewish star for the normal people, is the seal of Solomon.
Yes. It's a symbol that is said to ensoul, whether it's good or bad energies. And so we can think about that for our own being, our own ensoulment of the essence of who we are and how we connect to what is greater. That's what this podcast is all about. Source seers, that connection to spirituality. Sovereignty, we see the hermit standing with this staff of like, they are grounded, they are rooted, and they are unbothered, which is something that came through in a Reiki session the other day, where the client was out in the snow and the feeling coming from the client was, yes, it's a snowy environment, but they are just radiating so much heat and love within that they're unbothered. And I was like, wow, that's like the hermit card too. Like they're in this snowy environment, but they're unbothered because they know that their own unique purpose. And that's the other part of Virgo, is it relates to service and how we are of service. And that's a part of authenticity. What is your own unique individual path to be of service? So these are some core attributes and questions to ask yourself for 2025.
And then how to figure out like what your actual specific tarot card is for 2025.
Your lesson card, yes.
So you would add your birthday and your birth month plus the number 9, because that's the numbers for 2025. So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 is 9. And then like your birthday and month. So like mine is 06/21. So that's 9 again. So 9 plus 9 is 18. So we look that up. That would be the moon card. So my personal card for this year is going to be more about like emotions, intuition, going inward, being in tune, being in flow with the world around me, with myself, like all the things that the moon represents. And then Tylynn, you were saying...
Mine is the Lover's card this year, which relates to Gemini, which is my 4th house, which is the house of your roots, your home, family dynamics. So we'll see what comes up with the Lover's card. I have been in a over 7-year relationship dynamic. I'm really happy with that dynamic, but we're also seeking another partner. So, I mean, we'll see what shifts with the Lover's frequency. This has really been a year of embracing my queerness, and like this was the first year that I went to Pride and I openly celebrated, and I like I'm ready for that love. And I've obviously had queer experiences before in the past, but like I said, I've been in a relationship, a monogamous relationship with a man for over 7 years. So I mean, this is something that I've been wanting to call in and manifest for a really long time. So Lover's card, that's what I'm hoping for. And maybe a new house in the process of like...
That'd be nice, yeah.
Because, I don't know if all 3 of us could stay in the current apartment that I'm in. We would need a bigger space, so... let's see what happens. I'll be
Very
like,
Aries
we'll
of
come
you.
back
Like,
on the pod.
This year, and we're gonna be moving in like immediately. So lesbian of you.
Well, that's how Josh and I were too. Like, we were so like, that's Aries Venus. I'm like,
I love you. Let's go. Like, I've chosen you.
This is a karmic, and that's what I'm calling in. Really, is like a deep karmic love. So we'll see. I mean, I'm just always open to whatever's occurring, but I have a lot of relationship stuff coming in because I also have in the other system that I've created with your yearly card of embodiment, which essentially it maps your solar return chart with the tarot. And for that, my yearly card this year is the 9 of Pentacles, which is also in my 7th house. And then the Hermit card with Virgo corresponds with my 7th house. So I have a lot of relationship stuff coming up this year.
That makes sense.
So, again... I'm open. Like,
it's like
karmic
320
love.
On January 2nd, 2025. Let's look back and see. We're gonna make this prediction. Tylynn finds her throuple.
Love is in the air. Lover's card. No, actually, Josh and I, we love to do tarot check-ins, which for those of you that are in relationships, it's a really great way to do a communication check-in where we pull a card for ourselves, we pull a card for how we see the other person, and we pull a card for the relationship. And the card I pulled for the relationship was the Lover's card. And I was like, oh, I love this.
The signs are being planted. Wow, that's kind of crazy.
I'm excited for your moon card year too. Like,
yeah, I was thinking about that because it's like that's the card for, is it Cancer or Scorpio?
So that's actually Pisces.
Pisces? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, the other water sign. But then like my moon is in the 5th house too, so a lot of creation and like sex
Which
and things
Pisces
like that.
is your 4th house
Also
too.
my 4th house. So
Mm.
and I'm going through my Saturn return there. So yeah, maybe moving. I think moving feels like it's in the cards for sure. We've been talking about that, Frankie and I. Yeah. Family stuff, healing with family stuff, I think
That's a part of your Saturn return, yeah.
That's been coming up hard. And I had like my grandfather pass away, which like at the beginning of my Saturn return. So that makes sense. Yeah. And they say like when you work on one house, it shifts the energy in the opposing house. So I'm kind of like down for that, because if I'm shifting my 4th house, I'm expanding into my 10th house of career. And they said like the 2025 is going to be a Mars ruled year, and my Mars is in the 10th house. So, and all the Virgo energy, and my Virgo is in the 10th house. So I'm going to be having a lot of restructuring in my business, probably with this hermit energy in the 10th house. So it's like, what am I really here for? What am I doing? Which like has already kicked off because I quit my part-time job and it's amazing.
Yes.
I'm like week 2. I haven't done anything. I'm like week 2. I'm here. I just did it because I needed to. Well, spirit
that's you
me.
trusting your intuition, and that's
true. That's true. Because I'm like
frequency.
Without a paddle over here, I'm just going.
But that's really what the moon card energy is, and something
it doesn't feel right. It's not resonating. It's not aligning. Okay, I'm out.
Yes, and something that I love about the moon card is that we see this one winding path through the mountain, and I love to think about that for our soul, is we all have a unique path that we're meant to walk on,
to surrender to.
Yes, when we trust our intuition, and we see in that card it's a vast open landscape, so we have free will as beings, and so we can choose to go off the path and venture off over there, but then it might not feel aligned. There might be resistance, there might be fear that comes up, but
you might carve your own path, or you might just be like forced to walk someone else's.
When there's a path that's meant for you, that's right there, in the middle, going that through
you're
the
like
winding.
Avoiding. You're like walking parallel because you're like, I'm scared. That was me. I'm scared. I don't know if I want to do this. And then like my Aries moon was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired of this shit.
Just like, trust your instinct. Let's go.
Yeah. So definitely look up your card.
Yes.
You can share in the comments on Spotify, or you can comment like on the post on our Instagram.
Wait, what was 2024 for you? Your yearly lesson
It would just be the card right before, right? Because it's just one number different.
No, it can shift. So like for me, it was the Temperance card, which is Sagittarius, which
because I feel like my birthday is still a 9, and then it's just 2024, right? So it would just be one number different.
So let me show you with my math. So for last year,
9 plus 2024 is just 8, so it'd be 17 instead of 18.
So then for me, it was a 14 year versus this year, which is my 6th year. So it can be different.
No, but you added 2025 though. Like I'm just doing like the other math. So it would be 4 plus 11 is 15 plus 8.
Yeah.
But that's not that number.
Yeah. So
it's different.
So then you add these together. That's how you get it.
I was just adding the digits together.
Oh,
I wasn't adding the numbers together.
Okay, so then for you... Okay, so then you were born...
06.
Oh, wait, yeah, 6. I don't know, 20.
21.
Oh, yeah.
Plus 2025. Maybe my card is wrong then.
2, so 5, 6,
9.
7, 9. Oh my gosh, it's a hermit year for you, actually.
No!
I'm like, let me show you the math, which I'm like,
it was
not
just
a math
digits. I didn't realize, because I thought in numerology you're just adding the digits up.
No, it's a tarot thing. It's totally different.
Okay. Well, I was doing the numerology then, I guess. It's an 18 year. But okay, so I'm a 9, so I'm also...
Which is really powerful. So that means it's extra career stuff for love.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Extra career.
That makes sense because
We
I'm
just
trying to
went
do
on a
more
whole
creative
tangent.
stuff. No, I want to do more creative stuff. That feels very hermit for me.
Yeah.
You know, for sure. Like going in my lab and creating shit and like listening to what's best for me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So what was last year then?
Okay,
Just
so then... Oh. So yours was the
12, right?
8, 5, 6. So yours
8, yeah.
was the strength card, which was also the card for the collective last year.
Bro.
That's wild. You're aligned with the collective.
Hell yeah.
So last year for you was like deepening into your authenticity, your self-expression.
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes sense for sure. I did a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that.
Yeah. Interesting. I love that. You're like really in tune with the collective frequency then.
Thank you.
You're like...
I've done nothing besides be born on a certain day. I love that for me. I did nothing and I'm aligned.
Yes. I was like, born. I am the vessel of love.
I simply was born. My mother did all of the work. I just arrived.
And here I
am. No, I did work too. My mom had like some miscarriages and some abortions before she had me. So very Aries moon of me. Very Aries moon of me. I'm ready. No, yeah. I'm ready. No, I'm ready. Okay, so yeah, look up yours the correct way.
Oh, and then also teaching too then for you. Like this is
the hermit?
The strength card this past year for you was like...
Oh, that's true.
A lot of like teaching, and then it was also where we talked about publishing, our eventual thing, the 9th house of publishing. So... Sorcerers was birth then.
That's true.
Higher levels of consciousness, the 9th house. So.
Okay, love that for me. So when you're adding, don't make the mistake like me. Add up all of the numbers like in your calculator. And then the number that comes out, so like mine for last year, it's like 6 plus 21 plus 2024.
And then you add these numbers.
And then, so it's 2051, and then you add those digits up. So 2 plus 5 plus 1.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you would do that for 2025. Let us know what yours is, or just tell us what your number is, and we'll like let you know what the card is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or you can Google it. Okay, so let's do our tarot predictions for the year. On this tiny table. Let's see how that goes. Okay, what do we want to ask? We know like the card for the collective, I suppose, is already the hermit, right? So
yeah, I don't know if we want to just do like a...
Do you want to look up the
3-card spread, or if we want to just do like a 1-card thing and then do the other spread for everyone individually? What do you think?
Yeah, I think we can just pull. Yeah, we'll do a 3-card spread, but I'm also curious, like, can we do the birthday thing but for America? Like, wasn't it July?
Yeah, what's...
July, I know 1776,
when
I don't know.
What was the actual birthday? It's the 4th, right? Yeah.
Duh. What's America's birthday? I've never heard of her.
We don't celebrate July 4th over here.
Clearly. Okay. So 5 plus 6, 11.
So that is the, oh my gosh, after the Wheel of Fortune. What's after the Wheel of Fortune? The Justice.
Girl. It's like, it's not safe for you. It's not safe for you, America. You're getting justice in this. Be prepared, Trump. The energy for your first year of presidency is the justice card.
Yikes.
I feel very apropos, very needed, very necessary.
Yeah. Well, with Neptune moving into Aries, like I was sharing, like the collective, we are seen through the bullshit. Like we deserve to have leaders that are authentic and inspiring and not abusers.
Yeah. Amen.
So...
All right. So let's pull a few cards. Let's see like what was the I don't know. What can we expect from 2025 collectively?
Yeah, let's do that.
What can we expect? Oh God, the Chariot. And then I don't know. What new things?
Maybe guidance, like what are the energies that are going to support us to get through this crazy year?
Yeah, because I'm trying not to ask the same questions as your tarot spread. So, yeah, what can we expect? How can we be... Any advice on, like, how to be successful in 2025 collectively? And then...
Wow.
What's some cool surprises or cool things that will come through in 2025?
Which we will have with Uranus going into Gemini.
The Hermit card came out. Sorry. Oh, the High Priestess. Okay, sorry.
This is like really an indication to go inward. Like the amount of reversals here. Like...
Okay, so what can we expect? We got the Chariot and the Four of Pentacles reversed. So for those in the video... Oh my God, my brain doesn't work well with these things. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Watch me struggle to put things in camera. Okay, so the Chariot is about like forward movement, forward action. It is the card that's associated with Cancer because it's like cardinal water. But I always personally associate it with Aries because of the story behind it. Is like this god of the sun, right? I mean, I guess it would be Leo more, but yeah. So a lot of... I feel like this is like forward action, but it's like this like pressure that's pushing through is what I'm feeling, where it's like the action is happening regardless if it's right, if we're ready for it, if we've prepared, if it's necessary. I feel like it's just like people are wanting to like push forward. I feel like there's a lot of anger and like frustration behind this card. I feel like people are pushing their own agendas. Like I feel like a lot of political stuff is like they're going to push what they want on us if it doesn't, even if it's not good for the collective or good for the American people or whatever your country is in. But I feel like it feels like we're all trying to like push through. It feels like we want to skip past this icky part of like growth and restructuring and just like I just see this like constant like pushing, like almost like if you were a kid and you played with like the Play-Doh machine, how you have to like push it down to make like the Play-Doh come out in like the spaghetti shape or whatever. It feels like that, where it's like we're all in it and we're all gonna get pushed through. And then we have the Four of Pentacles reversed. The Pentacles is about prosperity, wealth, material assets, very like human pieces, very earth energy, slow. And the Four of Pentacles, it's like we've created some foundation, but we're still working to build, and it shows like this person like kind of holding on to the pentacles, and sometimes that can be like a little bit like I'm afraid to move forward. I have some, it's like scarcity. It's like I have some, but like what will happen to it? Like if I restructure, if I change, if I share it, if I let go of it. And having this reversed, I feel like it's like as we're moving through like the foundation that we've already built in America or collectively, like we really need to take our time to make sure with the Chariot energy that we're moving forward in the correct way. Like it's almost like they're saying like, I know you feel that pressure to move forward, but make sure that every move that you take is important or necessary or well thought out, because it feels like a lot of America has been like just like, sorry, my dog is eating something. No.
Oh goodness, no. Another puzzle piece.
Puzzle pieces. Oh my god. No.
Wow.
We have
a little silly.
We have this like wooden puzzle that my sister got me that's literally in the shape of a corgi, and my corgi is like eating it.
Coming out with us.
You have like a whole box of toys, but you just want to chew on like found objects. So I'm gonna get you a stick of wood or something. So yeah, I feel like it's like they're saying, you know, like a lot of America was kind of just created with like laissez-faire. Like, not that people didn't put thought into it, but low-key they didn't put enough thought in. Like, it's to me it's like normal human history stuff where it's like we haven't lived enough to know what the consequences of our actions will actually pan out and be, and we're trying to start something new, right? Because it's like we're in our Pluto return, so it's like we are in this Pluto Aquarius energy when the US was created. So it's like, okay, like we just want something to be better and we just don't like how it is now. And I feel like we're back in this energy of restructuring, and I feel like spirit is like, make sure you think about all the repercussions and the ins and outs of things before you're taking this chariot action. Like, don't just fuck around and find out. Like, actually, like, learn from the mistakes of the past to build better future. I don't know if that's what you got, but that's what I was getting.
Well, the very first lunation that we have to kick off this year on January 13th is a Cancer full moon. And you're right, the chariot corresponds with Cancer, and it will be conjunct Mars retrograde. So I do feel like what you said is so true. Of the collective is grappling with this internal anger, this internal like Martian theme of rage and action and moving forward.
There's a dog here.
And something that I love with this card is the Four of Pentacles. To me, I relate that to the third decan of Capricorn, which is where we've had Pluto transiting, and now Pluto's finally into Aquarius. So the third decan of Capricorn, ruled by the sun. And when I see these pentacles, I actually see it more as places of resource. So we have the resources that allow us to feel grounded, stable, secure. And what's happening in America is that so many of us, we do not feel safe. And that's a really big theme that the chariot embodies as the sign ruled by the moon, the nurture, safety, emotional regulation. And what does it mean for us to be well resourced within our safety? The heart, I feel that as well resourced within a sense of belonging, within a sense of love. And then the crown, well resourced within our connection to spirituality, which we're going to see that theme heightened with the Hermit card. So, yeah.
Okay, so the second question was, I think it was like, how can we have success, right? As we move through it?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I'm like, it's literally recorded, but I can't go back and hear it. Okay, so we have Two of Cups reversed and Seven of Pentacles reversed as well. So here's that for y'all.
Chill out, you little silly.
Okay, still struggling to show this. Okay, so I feel like this is like, don't put more effort, like don't waste your time on things that won't be fruitful energy. Like, how many resources do you have, and like, are you just doing, it feels like putting in too much work. So Seven of Pentacles and Suit of Pentacles again is coming up here. So again, wealth, prosperity, abundance. But we can see with the Seven of Pentacles, it's like this person is literally in the process of building this abundance garden, right? They have like this tool to help them grow. It's a hoe, but it's not. I just wish they didn't have like a hoe as like the tool, because the word. But yeah, so he's like tending to the garden. He's like fully like in it and reflecting on the work that he has put in. And then the Two of Cups is, the Suit of Cups is about our emotions. And this is also kind of like Virgo-y, I feel, because it has like the medical symbol and stuff in it, or what the medical symbol is derived from. And the Two of Cups can kind of be similar to like a lover's energy in tarot, because it's like these two people are embracing emotionally with each other and being supported by the like more spiritual forces in that like emotional fulfillment or happiness. It's like we're moving from one cup to two. It's like I now have a pair. I now have somebody here with me in this. And I feel like they're saying like in regards to like our relationships and how we relate to others and how we're connecting with others and what we're spending our time and energy on, that we're building, and resources and stuff. Like we need to, I feel like they're like, as we move through this chariot energy and we keep moving forward and pushing forward to restructure and make things better, like where is our time and energy going? What resources are we using? And do we have access to? What resources are we, like, it feels like more on like a personal level of like, are you expending too much energy on this thing that you shouldn't be? Because your energy is a resource, your time is a resource, like that type of thing. And the emotions, it's like, does the action fit the emotion, right? Like, am I doing this because I want to be validated? Am I doing this because I'm seeking understanding? And does that thing that I'm doing get me that reaction that I'm looking for? Or is it misconstrued or like irrational or something, is sort of what it feels like. Like, I feel like they're saying like, don't just put your time and energy into anything. But it feels like it's paired with this Neptunian energy that we were talking about in the other episode, where it's like, you might not know everything, you might not see it so clearly. So it's like really like, it's like a measure in carpentry, there's a saying that's like, measure twice, cut once. And it seems stupid, but I worked in a wood shop and a metal shop in college. You measure twice and you cut once, because somehow you measure it wrong the first time. So it's in your brain, it's like, that makes sense, that's easy, boom, gonna cut. It's like, wait, I measured it on the wrong side.
Check your work.
Yeah, or
that's
yeah.
so Virgoan too. Hermit, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like it's definitely like, hey, like, make sure that everything that you're doing is for a legitimate reason or for an outcome that you're behind, that you can support.
And you're trusting your emotion and your feeling, going back to the chariot.
Yeah.
I love to think about how the chariot relates to Cancer, and that's crab medicine. And watching crabs, they never go just like in a straight line. It's a very non-linear process. And that's what this year might feel like collectively. If we're all going inward and trusting our feeling and our emotion, it might be like, go and do this thing, but then take a step back, go and do that thing, go and do this thing. And it really is all about cultivating that inner balance, and we see that with the Two of Cups. And I feel like this is really saying how important it is to feel balanced within the polarities. That's how I like to read the Two of Cups, the polarities
between
of this
male
universe,
and female,
yang and yin, which is really active, passive frequency, and what it means to dance between those two. And that card relates to the first decan of Cancer, actually, and it's a decan ruled by Venus, so it's the love of home, the love of family, the love of safety. And so I feel like this is really then a year where success for a lot of people can be found just by being in your own home, in your own space, going inward and seeing what guidance is there. And what does your internal garden look like with the seeds that you are planting? Because with Saturn ruling that decan of the Seven of Pentacles, things don't grow overnight. They take time, they take discipline, focus. And this is really saying grow your internal landscape so that you are comfortable in the silence, you are comfortable in solitude, you are comfortable with yourself and your essence. Yeah.
And then we pulled the last pairing of cards was what surprises will be coming up. And so we have the Hermit and the High Priestess reversed. So interesting that we got the Hermit again, and it's a Hermit year. So I feel like Spirit is really like doubling down and saying like, you truly do need to go inward, because that is where all of the juiciness is. That's, where the surprise, where the joy, where the positive pieces are, in trusting in the process, in following the process, in working together with the energy that was set numerologically. Oh, I have hiccups now. Numerologically by the collective, by time, the system that humans have created. And I feel like with this High Priestess reversed, it's sort of like the intuition, similar to like the Neptune and the Uranus transits and stuff, it's like it's not as clear, or there might be blocks or fears or things, but like it's still there, and those answers will be revealed to you if you keep turning inward. I feel like they're like, trust me, like the things that you're feeling, the things that you're sensing, the visions you've had, this whatever it is, even if you don't know all the answers of like how the picture is filled in, because usually intuition is not that straightforward, unless you're really practiced at it, is going to be revealed in the inward pieces. When you do keep that regimen of like going inward, journaling, releasing, therapy, whatever it looks like for you, energy healing, etc., that's when the intuitive pieces will make sense. That's when the picture will be outlaid for you. And I feel like I'm trying to remember because we were talking and then it got cut off, so I'm trying to remember.
Channeling,
yeah. So I'm just like, what the fuck was I saying? Like, yeah. So I feel like I don't know. Do you remember anything else that I was saying?
Well, one other piece I want to add with what can surprise us this year with the Hermit card is when we go within and we access our true version of our light and express that outward. I feel like there's going to be surprises for certain people of, wow, I didn't realize that I had that within me to go ahead and accomplish this thing, or to be of service in that way, or to teach in that way, or to show up in that way. And I feel like the surprise is just going to be being so present in every single moment. It really is that frequency of stopping to smell the roses, like, and making that be a mission for 2025. And then, going inward and saying, how does my light desire to express itself this year? What is the most optimal way for me to express my light out into the world? And I invite you into that visualization. Go inward and see, what does your light look like? Is it a burning like bonfire? Is it like a small flame? Is it like a orb glowing? What colors are your own unique light? Really get in touch with your own unique light, and that might even be a surprise to some people as well, like really getting to know themselves and what it is that they're here to do, their bigger soul mission. But that's the world I want to live in, where everyone is connected to their soul mission and connected to their crone version of self. So
that's what okay, so there's two things. The crone helped trigger that. It was like, you can't just skip to the knowing. You can't just skip to the end, to the goal. You have to go through the process, and in the process is where the things will be revealed to you. And then the other thing that I was saying, that I was channeling, was the piece about like, you're supposed to look for the answers within you, as opposed to the people around you and what's set up around you. So it was more like, I go inward first and I ask, what do I want and what do I value and what makes sense to me, and I make space for my intuition and my own power and internal guidance system. And then I look at the people around me, all the politicians, all the news people, all the people speaking, the celebrities, all these people taking up space, and I ask, like, do they align with what I want? As opposed to what most of us do, which is look to the outside people first and just mimic or parrot whatever they're telling us we need to expect and stuff like that, which is like, we're doing that right now, but we're doing it in a way where on this podcast, we're asking you to like look within. We're giving you questions so that you can make these decisions. And like, that's more maybe the people or places that you want to be in, or make space for at first, while you're getting these answers. And then you take whatever you get from inward and you bring it to the table. Like, does that person align with me? Does that make sense? Does this system work for me? Does this structure work for me? How can I like trust my intuition to make it better, or use my light or my gifts or my skills to make it the way that I'm feeling on the inside? That it's like, it really is, they're like, the blueprint is within you. It starts with you. And then you let that unfold and bring that out. Yeah. Okay, so last thing we're going to do is this tarot spread that Tylynn has graciously created for all of us. So
let's do this for Sorcerer's Pod. Let's do for the podcast.
Do it for the pod.
Do it for the pod.
Okay, so again, this is a 5-card spread. So we're going to ask a different question for each card, and then we're going to go through. And this is something that we encourage you to do for yourself. We're going to do the example for like the podcast and see what is coming up in 2025 for the podcast. But you can insert your own self here, or a person in your life, or your pet, or whatever. Be ethical. Don't look into like your ex. Don't do it.
Goodness, no.
Just don't do it.
And don't even talk about it, because we had a really weird experience. We were talking about that, and then one of my exes just randomly messaged me, and I was like, no, I don't want this energy. So just like, don't even put it out in the universe. Like,
that actually happens to me a lot. I was in a reading and this lady was asking about this person, and then like the guy called while we were like in the reading.
No. Like, it's been 7 years, bro. Like,
yeah, people fall hard for Aries placements.
Yeah.
It's known. Okay, so the first question is, what is the major lesson you integrated in 2024? So for source seers, what was the major lesson that this podcast integrated in 2024? Bam, bam. So we pulled the 4 of Swords, and I'll go over them like after we do it. The second question is, what are the energies you're releasing from 2024? And then third question is, what are you centered or focused on in 2025? What is the theme for 2025 for you?
Fuck yes.
That's good for the podcast. And then any guidance for 2025 from spirits?
Oh, hell yes.
Very interesting. Let's get into it.
Let's get into Source Seers
So
pod.
we're asking on behalf of the podcast, which you could do if you have a business, your home, your car, whatever. So first question, what is the major lesson this podcast integrated in 2024? So we have the 4 of Swords. So Suit of Swords is about taking actions, but you can kind of see this 4 of Swords is like the Sword of Damocles fable, where it's like the pressure from taking action or making a decision is looming over me. So I'm kind of stuck in this like Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel like esque space where like I'm not taking action. I'm in limbo, right? And we even have like this religious iconography, like this angelic type energy looking over them too. So it's like, you know, it's more just yourself that's kind of doing it, not the energies around you that are supporting staying there and doing nothing. So yeah, that is the major lesson we integrated in 2024 was like not doing it, not starting it, not saying it, not taking forward action, being stuck in fear, being stuck in, or even it feels like breaking through the like this stagnation in a sense. I don't know if you feel that way.
So that the 4 of Swords corresponds to the 3rd decan of Libra, which is ruled by Jupiter. And something that Love and I have in common is we are both Jupiter souls, ruled by Jupiter. And so I feel like the lesson that Source Seers integrated for 2024 was the trust in that higher power, that Jupiterian higher power of just go for it. Like, I feel like
act and you will be rewarded.
Yes, I feel like it's showing this because we didn't take the action on it in 2024 quite yet, because it was still a seed that was being planted. But something that I love about the Libra energy, Libra relates to partnership, and I feel like that was something that we really integrated with Source Seers of, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna set this into motion and create this partnership so that we can birth this into the world, but from a place of peace, from a place of truth, from a place of justice, from a place of fairness, from all the Libra themes of balance. Yeah.
Love that. What are the energies we are releasing from 2024? So the Lovers reversed. I feel like that goes with what you were saying too, that you won't be supported, that the universe won't show up for you, that it's not needed, it's not fertile, it's not
Fear of the voice, like that relates to Gemini. So like any fear of putting my voice out there, which I know I've had personally, and I was the one that more so had hesitation, and Love was like
I already had a podcast.
Yeah.
So I have a Gemini Mercury. Did we not mention that? I can talk about anything. Give me a topic and I will literally, you were talking about how your teacher said, like, when you were in elementary school you were going to be a healer. My first grade teacher told my mom I was going to be a lawyer. She was like, your kid will is great at debates, is great at arguing their point, at proving their point. They're very smart, they're very astute, like they're good at like getting people to be on their form of thinking, and like the Virgo, like organizing all the truths and the facts and things. So that's what my teacher, she said I was either going to be a lawyer or a CEO.
That's interesting, though.
Which I am a CEO.
You do negotiate with spirit in a way. Like, you are like the lawyer in the spiritual realms of, okay, spirit, we're going to navigate this question for a client.
I want to brand myself like that.
And I'm not taking a no here. Like, we're...
That'd be a cool, like, Beetlejuice type movie where it's like, you come to me, you pay a spiritual price, and I argue with spirit or God on your behalf to get the intended outcome that you want. It's like, call now. Have you been having shitty outcomes in your spiritual path? Are you still struggling to learn the lesson? Let me end that for you.
Yeah. You're, like, advocating for people in the spirit realm.
I could see it.
Interesting. Oh, I love that.
I'm only wearing suits from now on. I'm embracing my Capricorn second house. Okay, so then next question. What are you centered on or focused on in 2025? We have the Judgment card.
I love this.
Very, like, apropos for what our vision is, right? Because the Judgment card shows it's Archangel Michael, right?
It is Archangel Gabriel. The messenger.
Flying over yes, thank you. I was like, spiritually, I was like, I don't know the heck his name is, but I'm getting the message. So he flies over and delivers this divine message to all of the people, telling them, I think he tells them that they're like wrong or they're stupid or something. I'm oversimplifying in this story. And so I feel like for us, what we're centered on is putting our message out there. Like, we're acting like sort of as Archangel Gabriel. Like, we are sharing wisdom, we're sharing knowledge, we're sharing empowerment, we're sharing all of these pieces that we say, like, in the opening of our podcast, in the intro, right? Like, that's what we're here for, and we're showing up for our community. So that's very, like, on brand, I feel like, for the podcast and, like, what we want to do. Like, we just want to share knowledge and wisdom and answers and openings and perspective and all these pieces for whoever is out there, for our community, right? Like, for the podcast, for the world. I mean, obviously with the podcast, you have the potential to reach the world, right? To anyone who can understand English or has great captions. So yeah, I don't know if you feel differently.
So I love all of that. And for me, when I see the Judgment card, I see it as a metamorphosis frequency of the transformation is already happening, even if it hasn't been revealed in real time. It's like the frequency of a caterpillar being inside of the cocoon and they are already a butterfly, even if they haven't quite emerged as that. So the focus is on the evolution, and that's what I've come to understand about judgment in general from an angelic perspective, is that as beings, whether you're an ethereal being or a human being, we cannot escape the frequency of judgment. And that is because judgment is not meant to be this harsh thing of like, I'm judging you. The truest form of judgment is actually meant to be evolution, and it's a path of evolution, and we have to be held accountable on our path of evolution. And that's what judgment is really all about.
Yeah, and I was thinking about like ancient Egypt, like how like I've worked with the deity Anubis, and he weighs your heart.
Yeah, my aunt too. Yeah.
Yeah, they like in ancient Egypt, like when you died, there were certain deities that were associated with judging your heart, your soul, to see if what you did in that lifetime was good enough to get into the underworld, right? To be like received by the other part of where your soul is supposed to go, and the reincarnation and all those pieces. So it's like, we do have to be held accountable for our actions, and when we do hold ourselves accountable, we have transformation. We can have growth, we can have change, we can have healing, we can have whatever it is that we were seeking or avoiding.
Yes. And with Source Seers, we are doing this podcast to awaken all of the fellow Source Seers around the planet. And I see that with this card of we're all gathered together and we're in community. And something I feel like we're also focused on is complete vulnerability, authenticity.
Yeah,
we're not
in
hiding
the judgment
anything.
Card is naked.
Exactly.
Except for the angel.
We're coming on here completely vulnerable, willing to talk about really anything. Like even like me expressing like my queerness, I was not comfortable to talk about that. Like even just last year, like so this is like open heart frequency, and we're focused on that open heart energy. And also we're doing a project with the angels, so that makes sense.
More on that in a different episode. Next question is our theme for 2025, also very on brand for the podcast.
Yes.
We got the Queen of Wands. So the Suit of Wands is all about communication, thoughts, beliefs, intellect, like all matters of the mind. So totally like tracks for a podcast because it's literally a speaking platform.
Yes.
And the Queen energy, like the Queen of Wands is like, she kind of has this like cutthroat energy. Like she has all these symbols of abundance. She has the pride of the lion behind her. She has the sunflower. She has like her little cat like protector in front of her, and she has like these like floral like patterns on her dress that mimic like the energy of like the sunflower and stuff like that, and these very elegant like green and yellow goldish type colors. And she has like a huge like crown or whatever like headpiece, like very protected. The head is very large. She kind of looks like an onion in that way. Well, because there's layers, not in a bad way. It's cute. I love onion, dude. I put that in everything.
Me too. Just crying, cutting onions.
Yeah, it's important. It's healing. So yeah, I feel like that's the energy that we're supposed to be in as we're moving, through this podcast, as we continue in this podcast every week, is to feel sovereign, to feel ownership over our words, over our thoughts, over our communications. And also I feel like I see like us handing the wands over to you. We're speaking in our power. We're taking up space to give you permission to take up space. I'm getting like chills when I say that, it's like, I'm not here to be like a cult leader. I'm here to help raise everyone else up to leader status, right? Like, we don't want it to be like our way or the highway. We're like, hey, this is what we feel and we think, and this is what we can channel and connect you to, and give educational resources to you so that you can take your torch and carry it into your life, whatever community you're a part of, whatever thing you're a part of, and feel empowered in that as well. I feel like we're like, we are leaders, but it's like, it feels like in like a hierarchical system. Like, we disseminate so other people can disseminate. But yeah, I also feel like the Queen of Wands has this energy of like, don't bullshit me. Like, don't come for me with like dumb questions and dumb things. Like, I feel like she's like, I don't have time or space for any of these little pieces that like are just, I don't know, it feels like there's this energy of like people wanting to like prove yourself to me. And the Queen of Wands is like, I don't prove myself to anyone, because I speak for my truth. I'm here for me.
I love that. Yeah, the Queen of Wands to me is the queen of pleasure, the queen of sensuality, and I feel like that's really the theme for 2025 for sorcerers is just to have fun and to have this be a place of exploration and playfulness. And yes, with the cat medicine here, the cat is a symbol that goes to the depths of intuition, especially the black cat. There's also a theme here of what it means to be confident with the sunflower medicines. There's a theme of that confidence. I also love how queen medicine, it's different from the king in the sense that queen frequency magnetizes things to her, whereas the king initiates, goes after things, takes the action. The queen just sits back, sets her intention, and allows things to be magnetized to her. And that's what we're doing with this podcast is who is attracted to our frequencies, who is here to learn with us, because I love what you were saying. We all have our own unique connection to source consciousness, and yes, we are leaders, but you are also leaders as well. And again, that's the world I want to live in, is where everyone has access to their own intuition and to connect to that part of themselves. And I do feel like the theme is just to explore our passions and to share our passions. That's also the Queen of Wands. She's the Queen of Passions. So
love it. And then the last question, any guidance for 2025? We pulled the King of Swords. So, like I said before, Swords is about taking actions on things. And we have this, like, I feel like we're getting, like, permission in this. Like, their guidance is, like, don't second guess yourself or think that, like, your action is not needed in the world or that you shouldn't take action. Because, like, the King of Swords, he has, like, this butterfly, like, angelic. Medicine, he has, like, angels around him. So it's very, like, spiritual. Those are signs of spirit or ancestors. And he has, like, his, he even has, like, a butterfly on his sword. But he has, like, his arms crossed and his legs are open. So it's, like, his energy is protected, but it's not, like, protected in a fear-based way. Like, he still has some openness, some power command in his stance. He's very, like, self-assured. He's looking directly at us too, like in the card. So it's like, I'm very aware of where I'm going, of the actions that I'm taking, of the path that I'm walking, and I feel like supported and self-assured in that. And, like, I can be vulnerable and protected at the same time. And there's even, like, in his, like, cape thing, there's, like, hearts and, like, flowers and stuff in here. So there's, like, a lot of, like, iconography that is around, like, be supported in your actions. Know that you're being supported. Know that you're being guided. Just feel confident in this.
Yeah. I feel like the guidance is... Sorcerers is here to be empowered within our expression. We are here to tell the truth. I mean, that is what seer translates to, is the seer of truth.
Yeah.
And
like, we see it for how it is.
That's what we're doing here with this podcast, and with the King energy, we are unafraid to initiate and to just say it, even if that triggers people.
Yeah. I think that's definitely, like, the masculine energy is, like, if you look at it in the more, like, binary in our world of, like, men are taught to just, like, do whatever the heck they want and, like, not worry about the consequences, you know? So I feel like it's, like, this masculine energy of, like, go forth, know that you're being supported, and, like, I'm not going to make everyone happy, especially on a platform like this. Like, not everyone's going to agree with what we say. And we don't, like I said, we don't want it to be like, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. You know, like, we don't want you guys to just listen to whatever we're saying and just follow it. I mean, if it aligns and resonates for you, amazing. But yeah, it's like, we're gonna be here and we're gonna speak and we're gonna take action and we're not gonna worry about how it looks. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Bringers of truth.
So, let's do, like, fun facts for people to get to know us better as, like, a closing piece. The one that keeps coming to mind is not that crazy. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Favorite? I'm not a super big ice cream person. I'm not a super big, like, sweets person, but if
Me too, me
gonna
too.
have ice cream, I guess I like a good mint chocolate chip if the chocolate chip is like dark chocolate. I love a good like bitter dark chocolate. Yeah.
That's good.
I love like froyo though. Like I love if I'm getting froyo, instead of chocolatey, I do like fruity. Like I do like the tart pomegranate or like tart mango, and then put in. I love the texture of almonds with the fruit.
Like crunchy.
Yeah, like crunchy.
Like Rocky Road has almonds.
Yeah, and then like gummy bears in the froyo. So
My partner does that.
yeah,
it's disgusting. I just don't like gummy bears. Like I don't like gummy candies that much, really. And then like when they're cold in the ice cream, it's like hard.
Oh yeah, that's the best texture. I love that texture.
I don't like that. Whenever he gets it, I'm like, that's illegal. I don't know why you brought this illegal food in my house. Like, we're gonna get arrested for pairing our gummy bears with our ice cream. I'm like, ew.
And the mochi and the
I do like mochi.
The mochi.
I like mochi.
Yeah.
I like shave ice with like the sweetened condensed milk and the mochi. That's really good. Yeah. Do you have a question for me? Do you want it to be the same or it could be different?
Let's see. Do you have a favorite? So Love makes potions and different products and things. So I'm curious if you have a favorite herb or a favorite plant that just really like, ooh, like I feel at home here. I love this energy of the herb.
Yes, so the first one that popped into my head is pine. I don't know, like I really like pine as a tree. It's like about prosperity and protection. And I like a lot of ancient cultures do this. They like hit themselves with the herbs as like a form of cleansing. I love doing that with like pine. Like you get like a branch that falls off and you just like hit yourself. Yeah, so I like pine. It's also very like grounding and earthy, but also a little like minty in a sense.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I also really like to talk about like rosemary, because rosemary is like, at least in my culture in Judaism, it's like a like traditional piece that people in that part of the world use, but it's like the duct tape of herbs, so it can be substituted in any spell for any herb, and it's a great like cleansing and protecting alternative to sage. So I always like to like talk about rosemary as like you can, and it's also like protective, like if you want to plant it around your home, and it's like it's fire retardant, so like it like resists being like set on fire. And then there was a third one that came to my mind, but now I am forgetting it.
I love rosemary.
Oh, cypress I think is like a cool
Woody
one
too, yeah.
Because I learned like in Judaism and in like that part of the world, like Greece and stuff, cypress is considered the tree that is like the portal to the underworld. So it's associated with underworld deities, and in ancient Judaism times, they would set cypress trees on fire to signal to like the other town like the starting of a holiday. So it was used as like a messenger plant, which I think is really sick. Yeah. And they like are very resilient. Like my partner Frankie, his favorite my dog is like losing it. His favorite tree is like the coastal cypress trees, which are known, they're like the ones that like grow in like all different like patterns and shapes. It's because they're resilient against the wind, so they like can grow in like crazy conditions. Yeah, I don't know, I didn't have a good answer for that.
No, I loved all of that. That's great. It seems like your favorite is like woodsy kind of thing.
For sure.
Like earthy.
I don't like super floral scents. I like jasmine for floral, but like real jasmine, because it's like really beautiful. Like there's like there used to be like a jasmine, like, because it's like viney. They use it in a lot of like apartment buildings because it's really floral. That when I grew up, the apartment that my mom and I lived in when I was a kid had like jasmines and stuff. Except she called them honeysuckles, but they weren't.
She's the queen of the night.
Yeah. So I really like jasmine. Jasmine's like, yeah, it's nice when it's in season. Yeah, I don't know. I like the spicy or like the earthy ones more. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the earthy too. Yeah. Earthy and minty, like peppermint is probably one of my favorites because you get multifaceted. You get assistance with your digestion. You get muscle
hormones
relief.
too,
You
acne.
get respiratory support.
A lot in that. Yeah,
with
that's
peppermint.
true.
Yeah, I'm a little biased towards peppermint.
Yeah, peppermint's a good one. And like mint and rosemary are great for like mental stimulation. Rosemary's great for your scalp and hair growth. So
it's ruled by the sun. It's ruled by Leo energy. So it has that like burst of protection, but also the clarity piece with rosemary.
It's great if you have ADHD to do like a rosemary mint spray or candle. I used to make a spray that was like about focus. That was about that had those two in it. Yeah, that was a good question. Cool. Well, thanks everyone. Hopefully these two like tandem episodes help you settle, figure out your energy for 2025, figure out what's in store for you, have some food for thought, make you feel less alone, whatever it is. We're here. And again, any questions, anything you want us to cover, any predictions you want us to look into, we're going to be covering a wide array of different topics as we break into 2025 and beyond. So yeah, we're just really grateful for all of you for supporting us and for being here thus far. And we can't wait to continue to grow our like amazing community.
Yes, 2025 is just the start.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Source Seers. We can't wait to hear your take on all the magic we talked about.
Follow Source Seers on IG and all other platforms to let us know your thoughts and get involved in our community.
You can also follow Love at Love Sakratoff on all the platforms.
And Tylynn at Tylynn McKenzie, or go to my website, templeradiance.com.
We'd love it if you could leave us a review on Spotify, Google, or Apple Podcasts, and share Source Seers with anyone you feel might benefit from magical community right now. Hail Jupiter!
Thanks for seeing into Source with us.
Bye!